I think the coolest thing about this house is the client on the site. From day one, which was so important, is when we kind of climbed through the bushes and we were looking at how we were going to place this house. What we wanted to create was a house living onto the edge of the green belt, whilst maintaining all privacy barriers, line of sight, noise, natural and artificial influences from the existing context. What we wanted to achieve was an entrance that was completely private, and using that privacy realm to be able to create thresholds of entry into someone's private residence. Welcome to the Living House. I'm Dale Venables, Director at DMV Architecture. Situated in St. Francis Links in the Eastern Cape. We've called it the Living House purely because it sort of blurs the edge of built environment onto a natural sort of green belt. You open this door up and you're welcomed into this courtyard space, and the courtyard is meant to be an extension of the artwork from inside the house that's popping into the courtyard, that draws your eyes into it. We actually had a playful pathway that decided to take you on a journey from a line of sight. If you open that door and you follow the pathway, that pathway as an angular route is actually pulled through into the house. And that's where we played with that second bedroom that forms this knuckle into the house. It's clad in timber. The inside cladding runs to the exterior cladding, almost becomes this object of placement as a secondary space, because the house was all about kind of scaling down. The house is all about being able to lock up and go, and it's not necessarily a family home. It's one could term a selfish design of space, because I only want a main bedroom and I want a beautiful living area. And when the grandkids come over, there is a second bedroom. And when you arrive into that courtyard and you look left, you look right, you get the sense of what I'm trying to say in terms of breaking down the scale and the placement of the building to maintain the existing landscape, like the existing milkwood trees that were captured on the survey. And why certain walls curve and why some don't, and why we've placed a building there, I think really was influenced on the use of site. So that little angular path I'm talking about played a vital role in extending into the living space, because what I did was we were welcomed in by pushing it slightly left and bringing the timber box into it. We direct people's movement into the entrance hall away from the main bedroom, and we took that line and decided to extend it to the northern side and created a playfully shaped organic pool, which is also kind of perfectly placed, so that from line of sight you kind of connect to that outside, you connect to the water onto green belts, and it's meant to just draw you through. The subtle curves of the timber coming around is there as almost an emotional journey to draw you around the corner into this open plan living space, as opposed to the harsh glass corner, which does bring the courtyard garden into the entrance hall, but kind of says, no, don't go right, that's private realm. The primary living space is essentially open plan, and once again working with different scale, proportion, height of ceilings, shape of volumes, one's able to achieve that emotion in how you feel in space. And I think probably that's the most important thing to actually take out of this house. When you break that scale down and you go on this journey about how space makes you feel, it makes you feel welcome. It makes you feel like you can sit down in the space because the ceiling's a bit lower. It makes you feel like you can celebrate space because the main living area of the house has actually got this arched, soft ceiling, almost like you're in the mother's womb, which is the kitchen, the dining, and the living area. And whilst we've created this open plan environment within it, we've changed the scale of certain things. We changed the scale of the walkway to the guest loo, so it makes it feel like it's a bit more private. We kept the open space of the volume, which is a connection essentially for different living areas. And off of that, the secondary spaces, which is the space I'm sitting in at the moment, is a lower scale because we're sitting, and that helps us, kind of open up all the doors of these living areas, which then extends onto this deck space. So having the opportunity to work with this client, who we really do have a good relationship with, it was just such an awesome process. Reflecting on it how this project developed, our involvement of bouncing ideas between each other, how we saw that they were really into this build and how they wanted to make this house their home. And I think it's evident when you have a look at the choice of finishes that they've brought into it. I mean, every single thing has been meticulously selected as a palette of materials that really do complement each other. Things that it's just not there every day. The effort they've put into going to find the cork light that hangs over the dining room, the attention to detail, say, let's just make that little timber member a little bit fatter. Let's create the canopy over there. Following through with sort of the architectural discussions that we've had is a really just awesome experience to kind of see that value is actually taken on board, and the project kind of evolves as we go. This home really is a home. You walk in here and you feel like you can connect with the spaces. You feel at home. You feel you can kick your shoes off, open the doors, connect with nature, jump in the pool. And I think that's why we call it the living house. It's just a home that is so inviting and so welcome to anybody that actually visits it.